My viewers, I have really unfortunate news to offer. This is the first time I've had to do this in many years, thankfully. The recording of this episode of the LP of Metroid Fusion suffered a technical problem. I don't know why, but partway through the recording, my audio recorder crashed, and I ended up losing something like maybe 45 minutes worth of commentary. After about the first 22 minutes or so, things just were lost, and I spent like 2 hours with various software programs and trying to recover deleted files and get the audio recorder to accept auto restore files, and nothing ever happened. Long story short, it's all gone. So I'll notate the point at which the original commentary is lost, and then I did my best. Naturally, there is no way to completely restore or recover or make up for the loss of initial reactions. It's part of the risk that you play when you do this kind of LP, but yeah, I do my best to compensate for it. You can judge for yourself how good of a job I did. I'll let you know the point at which I switch over to the post-commentary track. Thanks, guys. A couple of doors yet to be opened. I could probably return to my ship and get orders because, look, my objective just says, all right. I guess I could go up to the data room over there, too. But I wonder if I can get to these new doors. I'll explore. I'll do the one thing this game has not wanted me to do up to this point and explore. LPing is such an interesting pursuit for me because, like no other activity that I'm aware of, it lends perspective and insight into concepts that are very abstract and arcane in game design. Very strange concepts in game design. And what do I mean by that? Like, take music. Oh, yep, haven't gone through here yet. Take music. It started with something akin to having somebody beat two sticks together or tighten a sheet of leather over a hollowed out tree trunk and then beat on it like a primitive bongo drum. Oh, of course. Of course it wouldn't be that easy. I will find a way up. And now, that may be how music started, but now we may have, like, top-tier musical groups on the planet who have formalized music into an incredible art form, where you have somebody talking about the insouciance of the first stanza of this movement was so impeccably improved by having the first chair viola do this with the thing in the A bar and the C. I don't know musical terminology, but you get the point. As art progresses, as it becomes better, it becomes formalized. And this is something that, on a large accepted scale, has not happened with gaming in the same way that it has happened with an art form like music. Music has arguably been with us for thousands of years. Gaming's been with us for a few decades. And we've got lots of different companies and individual organizations that have their own ideas on how how gaming should be done. But, this is going to be tricky. Let's do this and then. But the methods of gaming are not yet formalized by any means. They're not, like, universally formalized. Like, there is no, oh fuck, I had it and I screwed it up. There's no Beethoven's Fifth for gaming. There's no Mona Lisa for gaming. There's no, like, universal discipline where everybody accepts this is the proper way to do things. And that doesn't mean that there's no variations in music. Obviously, we have, not unskilled, but untrained geniuses come along every now and again and shake things up. And incidentally, video game music has a big part to do with that, but come on, I can do this. I gotta let it bounce back first, though. So, gaming has yet to gain the same form of formalization that other, more traditional art forms have. But we're gonna get there. Yay. We're gonna get there. We're already on our way, no doubt. Where does this go? Oh my. There's another one right there. And part of our getting there, not necessarily saying there's only one right way to do gaming, but understanding the abstractions of high concept, super esoteric, super arcane game design in a way that we don't currently understand it. The only way that we're going to get there is by, coming to terms with these difficult, lofty-minded concepts of game design that we don't yet have a grasp over. I can just space jump over this now. Oh, yay. Am I ever going to get anything close to a gravity suit? It's looking like I might not need it. Oh, I don't keep my space jump. Oh, I guess I would need it because I don't keep my space jump out of water. I'm a lot more potent with destructive ability now with the plasma, but that makes me no less of a glass cannon. Look, just because I was being lazy, I lost half my health bar, and I've amassed a fair number of energy tanks. So, what was the point of that whole rant? Yeah, that's that is the main reason I find gaming so interesting. I guess let's go fight our way up to the resupply room and then to the data console and see what Adam has to say. Undoubtedly you will have noticed that oftentimes I start a video with, I've been thinking, because LPing, for me at least, reveals those esoteric aspects of game design, and then I start to think about it, and then it leads to questions that I don't yet have answers to, but I want to open the floor to it and see what people think. So there was a couple things that came to mind. The first was, I've mentioned multiple times in other LP projects and games and what have you, the relationship between the player, the available content, and difficulty. Like, how hard should it be? And I used to think it was just a linear sliding scale of, if it's too easy, it's boring. If it's too hard, it's frustrating. And that's it. I'm no longer convinced that it's quite that simple. I mean, yes, that is certainly an aspect of how gaming difficulty is supposed to work. Straight up above me. But I was thinking on this gameplay segment that happened right before this, and the last video when I'm getting all frazzled out to shit because you have this one long segment in between two save points where you've got a couple of runaway encounters with the sacks and two, by Metroid standards, very difficult bosses. And the data room's actually below here. Or no, navigation, not data. That's where I need to go. So I am going the right way. And so, just because of my frazzledness, because I was tired and stressed out, I find myself complaining about, this is frustrating, this is so unfair. And I maintain that just being dropped into a deadly flower with not a clear way to get out in that vine boss, that is still a dick move. That's the worst piece of design I've seen in this game so far. But it upset me worse than it otherwise might have. Let's read what Adam has to say first. What? You've restored plasma beam functionality? Most unexpected. Even so, what, are you not happy? Continue. It too may be stronger. What are you talking about? This is my most powerful beam short of the hyper beam. Well, yeah, I am a glass cannon. Wait a second, more trouble. Hold on. I've isolated the cause. There's been an explosion in the ARC data room. Uh-oh. Samus, go to Sector 5 and keep yourself alive. Yeah, sure. Staggering. Why are we not just nuking the station? What's the point? Why am I still here? Whatever. So where was I? Oh yeah, so I'm getting all frustrated and upset and this is frustrating, this is too difficult. But as soon as the catharsis of victory is gained, and then you go back to look on it in retrospect, and if you play it again, it's fun because now you have a better idea of what you're doing, and you can put down an ostensibly difficult challenge with relative ease compared to what you were doing before. And it's that just increases the catharsis. It enforces it. It feels so good. So I've kind of maybe come to... Well, talk to me, I guess. Let's see. It's gotten worse. The damage seems to have been caused by a creature kept here by the researchers who named it the Night... Okay. The Nightmare. Apparently it was a biomechanical organism development power manipulate gravity. We must assume that it's been become an ex-host. We have no choice. You must find it and defeat it and get the gravity suit. You use the word gravity. That's what we're all about. That was my sole quota of Canadianness for a year. I can't use any uts or oats for the rest of the year. our desires in the gaming difficulty balance, I shouldn't say our, I should say my desires in the gaming difficulty balance, because I don't know how other people feel about this, might be something hypocritical. Because what my emotions really want is to have felt like I was challenged, to have felt like I tried, and then to win cathartically. But what if I'm not good enough and I fail? I mean, you have too many failures, you get frustration. But you've heard me say in the past, this is how to get in here, right? Oh, screw attack. Okay. How the hell are you supposed to get in there, though? Oh, whatever. Just missiles. I got plenty of missiles. Yeah, you don't know where the nightmare is. Okay. Well, my time in Zelda Land, I killed plenty of nightmares. Yep. This place is beaten up. Oh yeah, something quite nasty's come through this way. Oh. Oh my. I just follow the path of destruction, I guess. But the red hatches are locked still. Oh, not anymore. It'll be right up here. Undoubtedly. When I say that video gaming difficulty may not be as linear as a sliding scale between complete frustration and complete boredom, you may also have to take time in account to that. You may also have to take the replay value in account to that. I've said that I don't want to be able to first attempt a boss, but I've also said in the past that I don't want to have to die to learn how to beat a boss. And that's contradictory. You can't have it both ways. Oh, hey, space pirate fish. Less than cool. Also die already, would you? Why am my plasma beam not hurting you? That's what this plasma beam is for, is to hurt you. No, this is gonna be tough. Just fuck it. I got the missiles. That's why I say that my desires in the challenge to victory ratio are ultimately hypocritical. You know? I don't want to have to die to learn how to beat a boss, by the nature of the game design. I also don't want to first attempt it. I can't see any way that those two are not mutually exclusive. Just like by definition, they contradict one another. I don't know what the solution to that conundrum was. And when I say that gaming gaming difficulty is more complicated than I had first suspected, I don't know where those complexities lie. I'm realizing there's stuff about the formula that I don't yet understand. All I would say is that we shouldn't make the mistake of thinking it's a linear sliding scale, because at this point I'm pretty sure it's not. Yeah, okay. That was one of the two things that I was thinking about. The other thing was, I don't even know how many times I've voiced my distaste for excessive, chunks of words in games, word walls, what have you. But this game brought a question to mind that I can't believe hadn't occurred to me earlier. The question was, okay, so I know I hate the word walls, and I know it destroys the pacing and balance for me, and it taints whatever other enjoyment in the game there might have been. I know I went through there, so let's go up here first. But that concept, that idea that I had was very self-centered. It was very selfish. I know that many others do like the words. But if you have a game like this, which actually does have some pretty interesting atmosphere and some pretty interesting gameplay challenges, which you could entirely, believably, want to play more than once. But the story, such as it is static. It does not change the same way that your gameplay changes by additional knowledge. And all you're left doing is just clicking to get through the text. because you know the story. It's not going to add anything new to you. I can't imagine why you'd want to read it a second time. There's nothing particularly well written about most gaming scripts. And I use that in the sense of like a movie script, a screenplay, not in a programming sense. I can't imagine how people would enjoy the text, and maybe it is just a barrier on repeated playthroughs. Maybe it is just a thing that you have to deal with rather than get to deal with. It is for me even on the first playthrough, but obviously not for everybody. There's going to be a trap to this. Yep. There was no way to get that energy tank. Alright, Bossman. Fill this place up with water? Oh my. Holy shit, look at you. Wow! That is an abomination right from Planet Hellgast. Alright, where are you weak? Probably that red fuck me light on your stomach there. Yep, that's your fuck me light. Ouch. You're well guarded. I basically have to get below you, I think, but then this happens. Oh, gravity control! Fuck me sideways and do the thing and win the points. Oh shit, you're controlling my missiles. Can you control my beams too? Yeah, okay. A charge beam will hurt you, but that's difficult to execute. Wow, Samus is already heavy in her armor, no doubt, but I can't imagine how heavy she must be right now. Are you crying acid? Dude, that's gross. Knock that shit off. Ugh. I don't know how to get under here without being hurt. Oh, okay. Well, now you have a different vulnerable spot, but I'm most of the way dead. Hey, get away from me. Get away from me, you jerkwad. The fuck you think you're doing? Hey, how am I supposed to deal with this? Goading and baiting? Leading like in a Toho game? I left that power bomb on mistake. I know it doesn't generally do things to bosses. This is... Oh my god, it's so easy to die to bosses in this game. Making Samus weaker definitely does encourage the feel of the survival horror game. And certainly this game is the closest we've ever gotten to it, I would bet. Attempt number 2, but... Dear viewer, I know that I have many people who watch me who do enjoy words and story in games in a way that I don't and can't. But, what do you think about what I just said? About having multiple playthroughs and then, like, just having to click to get through the story because you've already seen it and read it 100 million times. Do you genuinely feel that you're getting something additional out of reading the text a second time in the same way you would be getting something out of the gameplay a second time? Or do you just click through it just to get through it and it does kind of become a weight around your neck? I don't know. This is something I genuinely don't understand, and I suspect by the makeup of my neurology, it might be a thing I just can't understand. So I'll never really be able to understand the appeal so much as I'll have to sit back and accept that I'm not going to understand the appeal. So tell me, what is the value of the text to you, if any, or perhaps even a negative value? What is it to you on repeat playthroughs of games you have that have written stories? I wouldn't say that this game really has a heavily written story, not by some game standards, but by a Metroid game standards it certainly does. I may have an angle I can get in here. Anyway, I'm done with those two tangents. This is attempt number 2. I will focus on the fight. I can just barely get in there. But learning how to deal with him butting my face is a thing I don't know how to do yet. Is that getting through? It looked like it was just tinking off of him. Yeah, there we go. You're not hurting unless you hear the wow sound. Much like the Game Boy Zeldas. This makes me wonder how much you or I would perceive the gravity increase if we were in Jupiter's gravitational field. I can't say standing on the surface of Jupiter, because for all we know, Jupiter doesn't have a surface, but... and that's not to say that there's a possibility we wouldn't perceive the gravity of Jupiter. We absolutely would. I think I did the math at and it came out to me weighing like something like 2 tons. I could be misremembering the math. I'll have to double check that, but... I wonder about that. Or consequently, if you or I were standing on the surface of the moon or Mars without all the heavy space suit gear that astronauts typically have to wear when they're standing extraterrestrial, how much lighter would you feel? What would that do to your body? Would it help cure those with scoliosis or give some relief to those with degenerative muscle diseases? Eventually, you would just have atrophy of the muscles, and if you ever return to the 1G here of Earth, it would be much weaker than before. Our bodies are, like, unfortunate adapters. Our bodies just hate us. Our bodies don't really like staying alive for the long term. They do all kinds of stupid shit. Anyway, I'm getting off topic. There's not much to say about this. I'm really slow because I have an angle to attack this dude, but it's not quick. Okay, so you're just gonna, like, try to come into my body and ram me. And you're not my date. You didn't take me out to dinner first. I'm not hip to that. I've got the space jump. I just need to learn how to use it to proper effect. Ow. Yeah, I can bait you. I can lead you around. I gotta get your timing and your pattern. I can do this. Yeah, I gotta learn how long you directly follow my path for. I think I failed this attempt as well. Also, your health box, or your hitbox on your face is not linear. There's like a it's smaller than it looks like. There's like a small little chunk of it. Attempt number 3. Aha, I can lure you to go up further and get you to expose your weak point that way. I mean, sure, this is a gravity increase, but really, this is a shortcut. They have Samus's physics acting identically to how she acts in water. All they did is kind of like virtually put her in water, and she's moving exactly the same way, isn't she? I see. And that, unfortunately, dear viewer, is the point at which my audio recorder stopped. And despite quite a bit of trying, I lost all commentary after this point. That really bites. I'm sorry. So, this was attempt number 3. I failed this attempt. So let's skip ahead to where I succeeded. It was this, attempt number 12. That's right, 12. I quite stupidly left the mouse on the screen for a moment, but I moved it. I was silent throughout all of attempt number 12 until victory. So, I'll be silent now. Time, of course, for the obligatory AIDS virus. I was basically in full-on panic mode at the time this happened. 12 attempts in, 1 or 2 more hits would down me. This is unfortunate. I don't like the fact that I have to speak about what happened in gameplay in past tense. I hope I never have to do this again. I'm really sorry. I feel legit bad. I can't aptly reproduce the noise I made at this moment when I beat the boss. I was like, ugh, because it was frickin' hard. It was like approaching La Mulana level of difficult. 12 attempts. That's not nothing. So, gravity suit. That was easy to predict. It's at least more clever than having to fight the boss in water, and therefore, you know, gaining the ability of being able to do this after the fact. I guess the thing that got me going, the thing that got me wondering about the difficulty of this boss fight was it random? Because it felt random. It felt like I couldn't aptly predict the way that its face ramming properties, like it's chasing you around the arena, would act. I didn't always feel like I could tell where it was going to go, and that's why it took me 12 attempts. It causes a lot of damage when it hits you, and I couldn't aptly tell. I mean, obviously I got the pattern down, if there was a pattern, or maybe I was just partially lucky. So you, dear viewer, please tell me. Was there randomness to this, or was I just being a complete derphole? Yeah, speed booster blocks. And one must speed boost through, as one does. Wouldn't be able to, yeah, speed boost through the water without that, of course. And then, after beating the boss, Adam only says, okay, you have your speed booster thing back, good for you. And I spent a while wandering around this area not exactly knowing how to get out. Let me then skip ahead to the part where I do figure out the way out, because I kind of rubbed my face on the western wall of this, if you want to put it that way, for a while. It was here that I finally found my way out. There was just a door at the lower right-hand corner, southeast, if you want to say it that way. I don't know that you would. That requires a whole crap ton of speed boosting to get out of. And this is it. Power bombs are super reliable for always, if expensively, telling you the nature of the true blocks in your vicinity. I remember feeling like, despite having plasma, I don't really feel that much more potent against my enemies than I had earlier. Because for the enemies I'm running into, like those mermaid space pirates, I'm still having to charge up or use super missiles, power bombs. But to no avail, because screw attack blocks. We're going to see a ton of screw attack blocks. It goes to show, rather to enforce, that this game has a thing with linearly scaling up the power of your enemies, most especially bosses, even though your attack power is also increasing. And that's probably just a example of what I was talking about, or at least it was an attempted example of what I was talking about in another LP, of, you know, you being more potent, but your enemies also being stronger, so you maintain a feeling of power while also maintaining challenge. I don't think I can tell yet at this point how well that applies to this game, because I just feel weak. I mean, Samus just feels like a glass cannon at the best of times. And that's undoubtedly endemic of the feel of the game that they were trying to go for, more of a survival horror thing. They certainly succeeded at that. Really, I gotta say, they succeeded at that so far. Anyway, in this section, I spend a long time doing useless meandering wandering in these watery rooms, which don't, see, like, Adam just says, okay, you've got your gravity suit back, so go back to navigation room. And I felt like an hour and a half and a million other hours just wandering through this watery area trying to figure out my way to go. Would like repeatedly run into dead ends. Let me skip ahead to see if there's something interesting to say. I'm so sorry. I'm gonna, like, try to take some redundancy precautions so that data loss doesn't happen again. This really bites. The good news is that the quality of my commentary that happened in this watery area was not my best stuff. I didn't say anything unforgettable. Rather, the stuff I did say was forgettable. Oh, what's this? Oh, I'm at a dead end. Oh, where do I go? I'm trapped. Oh. This is where stuff actually started to happen. I'm just in desperation bombing random corners, and I noticed that I can shoot that fish dude through the wall. And so I spring ball up through there, and I'm thinking, what? What is the indication that would tell me how to get through there? Just the fact that the fish was kind of sort of swimming through there. If I go down there, I can shoot the fish through that. Is that brute forcey? Is that rubbing your face on the wall until you find the way through? I mean, yes, kind of, but if you have a little bit of that when you have a very limited number of solutions you could possibly achieve, then maybe it's not that bad. And now that I knew to look for it, I started more deliberately rubbing my face on surfaces and then made it to Red Switchland. Red Switchland. Now all hatches in the whole base are open and free and ready to be penetrated by Samus Aran. Yes. Now the red doors are open. So, quite unsurprisingly, this means I went to open red doors. Like that one. These guys with the sharp, pointy shells look very much like, and of course they pretty much certainly are, a certain type of enemy on SR388. Yet another one of those. It led me to wonder, like, did this whole station just exist for the purpose of studying Samus's past encounters? Because it seems like that's all that X has to amalgamate here. These guys were the dudes that Samus would use the grappling beam to grab onto in Metroid 3, and I don't have a grappling beam here, honestly, but apparently they're indestructible here like there. And were they indestructible in that game? I forget. I don't know if they were. But I saw them earlier in the game, too. I just didn't recognize them as such because I could only see the tops of their heads. I forget if I mentioned before, but these guys appeared in Meridia. I could only kill them by, like, screw attacking or poverty screw attacking, like charge and somersaulting into them. Or speed boosting, you could do that, too. See, I came at the left side of this room before. Those guys were blocking my path. And I just stumbled into a data room that had not been previously authorized for access. I was surprised by this. Diffusion missiles. What, so I can charge my missiles now? This is new, at least. This is not the same old upgrades that I've been used to in every Metroid game before. Boom, fire, and boom! a neat little ice Danmaku pattern, which I very quickly discovered the Danmaku pattern could freeze dudes. I tried to still directly hit them at first because I'm an idiot, and of course you can't do that if you get too close. At first you can't hit them, if you get too close, they'll freeze up and block your path. So you have to block or freeze them without getting close, which means having to use the diffuser effect. Yes? Yeah, see, I'm trying to like just barely graze its hitbox. Instead of using the new ability I had, which I did here. Kaboom! There you go, I can get through. Good job, past UD, for barely figuring something out. But now it's time to go back and talk to Adam. You upgraded your missiles? That's unusual. There is no word from HQ, a procedural error. I'm sure, even so, I did not approve... What? Why? Why would you not want me to be more powerful? You are most certainly hiding something from me. Even Samus would know it at this point, even if she hadn't seen the fourth wall breaking dude talking to you and, hey, is there a problem? No, there's not a problem. So, yeah. If you really care... In fact, again, I'm going to say, why the fuck aren't we just getting out of here and nuking the station from orbit? Why are you keeping me here? Samus, you know what to do. Yeah, so... Robot reappeared, and I need to go back to Darkland to try to find it. Yeah, the objective's clear. Now, once again... Not the best of commentary, but I spent quite a long time running around Darkland confused, not sure where to go or what to do. I only explored the areas that were previously explored. I thought maybe the boss arena of Darkland, Nock, would be the place that the killer robot would appear again, but this turned out to be wrong. Let me show you where we went. We spent an unfortunate amount of time running around, almost spending one power bomb per map square, just in a brute force attempt to figure out what was going on until I did this by chance. And blow open that section of power bomb. I mean, I know this is not really supposed to be an exploratory-based Metroid game. I don't know that, you know, for the genre of interactivity that this game is established, if that's appropriate. Honestly, it kind of struck me as inappropriate. How much face rubbing on the wall is fine to do? I don't know. Anyway, this opens up a whole new section of Nock that I had not yet explored. How the water could be on level in the previous room and yet no water here, that's completely baffling to me. I don't know, but... We do some running around. We fill out the map. There's very little of note until Samus and I get down to the bottom. Yeah. You tried that before, UD. It doesn't open those doors. You know this. You're going to get something else that'll let you do that. Hopefully. Yeah. So let's get to where it's interesting again. After a very few minutes of moving down and to the left to fill out the newly accessible portion of the map, I come to this supposed dead end, continue my MO of power bombing wherever possible, and just fall down here. And then I come to this room, where there is a security door with a camera up there for some goddamn reason. Obviously, there's something special back there. I'm thinking now, or at least I'm wondering now, if that wasn't the X specimens that this place was probably working on. I know they say that the X might have been carried in here. Actually, no. I forget. How did the X get here? I know that was explained like really early on, but I'm forgetting. Anyway, I make my way out of like frustration for being unable to advance. I make my way back towards the top, but this warning voice that's going on, she just keeps going and going and going. She doesn't stop. And it's like, okay, I've walked away from the door. You can stop saying those things. Unless it's a security alert that station security is expected to come in clear. I don't know. But as you move back towards the top, there's an event that happens to let you know something is awakened. That. Yeah. I was pretty sure at this point that the killer security robo had realized my presence, and the room that had the water on the floor and had the railing up on the ceiling would end up being the next boss fight arena, not the place where I'd originally fought a boss here and Nock before. Up we shall go. And here we are. Here I am. Here it is. Kaboom! My suspicion was correct. And now the water's electrified, no less. I use a power bomb to very quickly clean off the ceiling so I can get access to the rungs again. I kind of roughly have an idea of how to fight this guy from before, but of course the terrain is complicated, and its attack pattern is not exactly the same. It's not shooting little beach balls of destructive death at me anymore, it's firing missiles. And I'm panicking. Can these missiles be shot cancelled? If they can't be shot cancelled, then this is really unfair. I can't dodge while I'm up on the ladder. And through imperfect perception and human confirmation bias, I'm like, yes, I can shot cancel. No, I can't. Wait, no, yes, I can. No, I can't. Ah! Panicking. Running around. Panicking. And there, yes, I proved that I can shot cancel them, although you have to do it on the ladder or you're sacrificing health to the electrified water. At this point, a very random sentiment occurred to my heart. I said, I'm fighting this security robot, and I'm doing it for you, Yonke! My fellow fairy, I'm doing it for you! And that's, I don't know why that, just came to me to say. It was very random, just popped out of nowhere. I'm doing this for you, Yonke. That was something that I was inspired to say in the heat of the moment, and I feel that that is the single greatest loss of the original commentary track. That I no longer get to say that, or have that said in spontaneity. I have at least upgraded my audio recorder to the newest version, and like I said, I'll take some precautions to make sure the files get auto-saved and I don't know if I can duplicate auto. I'll do something, because this is unacceptable. This is not very professional for an LPer to do. Anyway, I have the general idea of this boss's MO. Its pattern is easy to get down pretty quickly. It doesn't have the same complications that the first iteration of this boss had in the other area, where the beach balls of fire would vary in height as the boss fight advanced. It just keeps jumping around and shooting missiles at me to ill effect. And apparently the electrified water doesn't bug him at all. Oh, my floating brain! Except, no, wait, it's just an AIDS virus, like usual. But there is no more electrification to the water, and something weird is going on. It feels like every time I shoot this guy, it's reflecting beams back at me? Is that happening, or am I just hitting it with the right timing? That it's shooting beams at me at the same time. Wave beam. I kind of didn't expect to get this one back. I'm glad I got it back. But that shot, that visual effect on the shot right there, that's the coolest damn combination of beams I have ever seen in a Metroid game. Of course, my favorite would be the Hyper Beam, because it's all rainbow and cheery and happy, and also kills your enemies for you effortlessly. But this is pretty damn cool. 3 bars of swirling plasma death. Actually, no, it's not ice, is it? It's just spacer, plasma, and now I can shoot through those doors. Yeah, spacer, plasma, and wave. I can't shoot ice beams. I don't know why it's blue. I guess it's part of plasma to be blue, but that's still a really badass looking wave beam. It's like I'm firing braids of death at people. Now, at this point, completely frazzled, lost all of my energy. I was kind of impressed that I was able to first attempt that boss, but in retrospect, it was far, far easier than the Gravity Demon, the Nightmare. Jesus Christ, that thing was hard. I don't think I've taken 12 attempts on anything else in this boss fight, anything else in this game. Even the vine thing that would shoot the plasma beam at you, I think, was still fewer attempts than that. But after killing that, the intercom still keeps calling, "Hey, you're a fucking asshole, stop trying to enter my door, bah!" It just doesn't stop for some goddamn reason. If you can't kill the security bot to gain authorization, then what the hell can you do? And so I beam my way through the door, make my way into new environs, the restricted zone. Now this is scary, especially when you see LX in the background. I'm thinking, level X? Was this indeed X containment? But this is also where I stop. I have exhausted the amount of time I could record for the day, and I actually took way more time than I should to go ahead and rebuild this commentary. So, yeah, as always, thank you for watching. I will take great pains not to have this happen again. I appreciate your guys' understanding. If you don't understand, then try to put up an LP yourself. It's fraught with technical problems. And I'm sorry if I'm just stopping here right before maybe the last 15% of the game, if that turns out to be the case, but I am just out of time. Thank you, dudes, as usual. We'll see you again.